Hello and welcome back to the Best Bar None channel. My name is Tom Strauch and I'm going to share with you my secret to making really tasty Brussels sprouts. First, I'm going to start with the Brussels sprout and we got to prepare them. So all I do is take and cut off the ends like so, slice them down the middle so you have them in half. They'll look like this. Sometimes the little leaves on the outside will come off, and that's okay. You can just set them to the side, and I use them at the end for little crispy treats on top. So I'm going to process through all these, and you want to make sure you get your oil heated up. Now I use a blend of canola oil and olive oil. If you use straight olive oil, tends to want to burn. You can't get the flames up as high on the pan. Make sure you get the entire bottom completely covered and coated, and you want to have a little bit of a, I would guess, 1/4 of an inch of oil. This is basically the equivalent of pan frying, but that's what makes them tasty. They caramelize. Like I said, if you use straight olive oil, you have the problem of you can't get it quite hot enough. They take longer to cook. They don't caramelize quite as nicely. And they end up having too much of an olive oil flavor. It becomes very overpowering. The blend is very mild so that you don't get such a overwhelming olive oil flavor. So get your flame on a nice medium, maybe on the high end of medium, but not really to a high flame, and get it heating up so that when you're ready, you can pop the little Brussels sprouts into it and they will start caramelizing almost right away. As you're placing the Brussels sprouts in the oil, make sure you reach to the back first and get them in case it splatters and it's hot. It's getting hot, but it's not hot enough that it's going to make them sizzle and attack. Or back splatter, I guess is a better word. Now, don't be afraid to crowd them in there and get as many as you can. That doesn't hurt them to all be touched and bunched up. You want to make sure you have your trusty tongs so that you can flip them when it's time. But now that they're in the pan, here's my secret seasoning. Salt. Put as much or as little as you like. I know some people can't have salt, so go ahead and use a salt substitute if you need to. Pepper. I like a little extra pepper, gives a little more kick. And garlic powder. And to me, that's really the key, is the garlic powder, and don't be afraid to use a lot of it. Make sure that they have a nice coating all over. It's already starting to bubble. We're going to put the lid on and let them simmer for about 10 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes and we're going to take a quick look and see how they're doing. And this is where the actual secret comes in. You check, you turn one over and look at that. The lovely dark color, it's caramelized. And that's what gives them just a wonderful flavor. So we're going to start flipping them all over. You'll notice that the green has gone from, they start out a bright green and they turn really, really bright while they're cooking. And then once they get to this point, they turn a little more dull. But that's another good indication that it's time to flip. And having done this many times, you would completely understand that sometimes they can get a little black, which means you've probably overdone them a little. They're still tasty. But if there's no caramelization, then they're not that tasty yet. And in all honesty, I have tried the traditional old method of boiling them, and they never come out good that way. And I've tried roasting them, and I actually have never liked that way either. So you notice these few over here on this edge, probably they were the furthest away from the burner. It's not really quite caramelized yet. So what we can do is make a little hole in the center, put those back in the middle so that they go a little bit more. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and add our second round of seasonings. Now this is up to you again. I always add a little more salt and more black pepper. And more of the trusty garlic powder. Now, obviously, if you want to throw some variations on this, feel free. You can add other seasonings or less seasonings if you like. Now, once you flip them, you're only going to let them cook for about 5 more minutes. It doesn't take very long on the other side. Okay, now that it's been about 5 more minutes, it's time to pull them out. As you can see, they're nice and tender. They brown a little on the other side. So you get caramelization all the way around, which really intensifies the flavors. The fun little extra treat that I was talking about was to take the extra leaves that had fallen off when you first cut them open. You want to be fast with this, so have your lid ready. The oil has a lovely season now to it from all the spices, so you toss your leaves in really fast and get your lid on because they pop and sizzle. And they only take a couple of minutes. You can watch them turn color. They will brown a little and they turn into these little crispy treats that are just really nice and tasty to throw on top. Here's a nice close-up of the lovely caramelized Brussels sprout. You can see it's got some nice color all the way around. The seasonings are on there. Blow on it. Oh my gosh, they're so good. A little crispy, lots of flavor. I've turned the flame off, so these little crispies have had a little time to cool, just some. You can hear they're still sizzling, and I'm going to take them just like so. Put them into my bowl so you can see the difference. And these come out just like little crispy treats. Hot but crunchy. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you learned a little something and had a great time while watching this video. If you liked it, please make sure you like it below and hit the subscribe button so you can see all of our videos. Thanks and have a great day.